What's going on, y'all? Every day means every day, episode number 10. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you the top 3 things that almost everybody gets wrong about habits. See, if you're anything like the vast majority of people, January 1st is rolled around, or maybe a birthday is rolled around, and you've said, you know what? I'm planting my flag in the ground. This is going to be the year where I take control of my habits, where I finally get in the gym and get that body that I want, where I finally start that side hustle, where I go all in on my business, I make the money that I want, where I start diving deeper into personal development. Whatever it is for you, you've probably experienced that moment where you say, I'm done with the old vices. I'm done with the bad habits. I'm going to establish some new high performance habits. I'm going to become the best version of myself. And how long does that last? For most of us, that lasts maybe a few weeks. If we're lucky, maybe a few months. But very few of us are able to maintain that systematic, standardized approach to habits and routines that I always think ensures our growth and in some ways even ensures that we achieve our goals. One thing that I like to tell people is that habits are so important and daily standards are so important because if you structure them correctly, it's actually going to guarantee that you achieve your goals. I mean, think about it. If you are like me and you go to the gym every single day and you do that for years on end, it's unreasonable to even think that you would be obese and out of shape. I'm not saying you're going to be a professional bodybuilder if you don't do other things correctly, like your sleep habits, your diet, your nutrition, learning how to actually train. A bunch of other variables go into it. But at very least, bare minimum, you're not going to be morbidly obese if you go do some form of physical activity on a daily basis and you put in that consistent effort over time. So that's how powerful the compound interests of habits actually are. The challenge is most of us have a hard time sticking to them. And you might be thinking, okay, but why am I even on this video talking about habits and peak performance and personal development anyway? Well, if you don't know me, my name is Brandon Burns. I'm a motivational speaker and peak performance coach. I'm the founder of the Everyday Means Everyday brand. And I've worked with people like EME and Grammy award winning artists, Olympic athletes, and countless executives and entrepreneurs to help them reach their potential daily, not just occasionally. And the way that we do that is by systematically putting in structures, systems, standards in place to ensure that whatever that big goal that you have is, if it's a fitness goal, a financial goal, a relationship goal, we're going to reverse engineer that and say, what are the inputs that I can have on a daily basis, not occasionally, but daily, in order to ensure that I get there. This is the difference between just winging it and working a plan. Okay. But here's the challenge. A lot of people have these misconceptions about habits, okay, about how they work, about what they even really are at their core. And I want to go over a couple of those major mistakes that people make in this video so that you do not have to make those mistakes. So without further ado, the first thing that people get wrong about habits is they think that the result of the habit is the core component. They think that the reason for even beginning a new positive habit is so that you can get the result 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, whatever it might be. You're not going to make a habit out of doing cold outreach, cold DMs, cold emails if you own a business just for the sake of doing it. You're going to do it so that a year from now, your income goes up, so that 2 years from now, you're in a better financial situation. If you're having a new fitness habit, chances are you're not drinking a gallon of water a day just for the sake of doing it. You're doing it so that you're healthier, so that your blood pressure goes down, so that your functional fitness increases, that your joint health improves. There's a million reasons that you might be doing it, but most of the time we have our eyes set on the outcome that's somewhere in the future. I'm here to tell you that that's honestly not the reason that we should instill positive habits. See, with everyday means every day, my goal is not necessarily to get you six-pack abs or to make you a millionaire, although those things might happen. In fact, they frequently happen as a result of the habits that we teach and the accountability structures that we put in place. But the reason that I want you to get these habits is so that you can become the person that you were actually created to be and that you're capable of being, okay? What's interesting about this is that that benefit accrues immediately, right? Think about this. If I'm going to implement a new fitness habit, right? The result that I think I want is the big biceps. That's going to take months, maybe years to manifest itself into reality. The real benefit the benefit that's actually worth way more than big arms, the benefit that actually makes it worth going to the gym on a daily basis is who you become. It's the discipline that you get. It's the self-respect that you gain. It's the confidence that you gain. It's the ability, it's the fact that you know that you have the ability to hold yourself to a certain set of standards, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't like it, even when you don't feel like it. That changes who you are. And as soon as you show up to the gym, you've got it. The real reward, the real result happens in the process. It happens in the act of doing the habit itself, not the result that you get later on. Okay. So I want you to shift your mentality about habits and don't think about it as a means to an end to achieve some kind of arbitrary, superficial goal. Start thinking about optimizing your habits and your routines and your lifestyle as something that you're doing to invest in you and something that you get the benefit from immediately because it shifts your identity in the moment. It shifts your character in the moment. It shifts your self-concept immediately in the moment when you execute the habit. It's about the process so much more than it is the result. Now, in my opinion, the way that my belief system is set up, I believe God knew that our desires, and he knew that we're vain, superficial creatures. We wanted to be rich. We wanted to look good. We wanted all these different things. And so he just set it up to say, okay, cool. You need a carrot dangled in front of you because you're not mature enough to put yourself through the process of development that you should be going through without a reward to chase. Cool. No problem. Six-pack abs, being a millionaire, making six figures, whatever that goal that you want is, I'm going to make you become the person that I need you to be and created you to be in the process of you going to get what you think you want. By the way, by the time you actually get there, you're going to look back and realize that it was becoming that person that was the end goal all along. I digress. That's philosophical. But first things first, shift your mindset. It's not about a result. It's about the act itself. It's the doing that is meaningful and important. Okay. There's another thing here that I want to briefly talk about, which is that habits are more about identity than they are about results. And this is very similar to what we just talked about, but I've got a quote here that I want to read to you that I think will put this into context a little bit more. Now, you might have heard the quote, excellence, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is a habit, right? Everybody attributes this to Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. People attribute that to Aristotle. Aristotle never wrote that, okay? You cannot find anywhere where he actually said or wrote that in anything. What he did write was a book called Nicomachean Ethics, which is one of the foundations of philosophy as we know it. And he said the following, which most likely is where people got that condensed quote from, okay? They just paraphrased it. This is what he writes. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. For example, men become builders by building, and lyre players by playing the lyre. So too we become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. So one of the analysis here says this suggests that repeated behavior shapes character and identity. Once character is established, it influences desires and further behavior. This cycle could be interpreted as behaviors or actions leads to identity, character, which then shapes desires, intentions, and those desires in turn lead to further behavior. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. Actions lead to identity. Identity shapes your desires. Your desires dictate your future behavior. So again, when we look at habits, it's not just about the end result. What Aristotle is saying here is very similar to that quote that's misattributed to him. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit, okay? It's something that you have to do every single day over and over and over again. What this is saying is that once you get in that mode, once you train yourself, once you get in that zone of going to the gym every day, of working on your business every day, of reading every day, of whatever those positive habits are, it becomes muscle memory. It just becomes a part of who you are. I'm at a point in my life now where if the thought of not going to the gym makes me not even feel like me. If I wake up and throughout the course of the day, I don't do any sort of physical activity, I'm like, I don't even feel like Brandon Burns today. I don't even feel like myself anymore. And it's because I've developed that habit, and that habit has turned into an identity, okay? It makes it easier as you go along. So I want to encourage you, if you're on this journey right now of trying to optimize your life, you're trying to get some stuff together and achieve some of these goals that you've had for a long time, it's going from 0 to 1 that's the most difficult part. Okay, going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, that becomes exponentially easier as you go. Now you got to keep pushing yourself, keep making yourself uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, it's going from 0 to 1 that is the biggest lift. It's the most resistance. The most friction is from a standstill to any movement at all. Okay. Once you start to change your identity, once you start to believe in yourself a little bit, it's unbelievable what happens. As soon as you start to become proud of you, as soon as you start to look back on your life and say, you know what? I'm proud of this guy. This guy held himself to a set of standards for the last 30 days. This guy was disciplined for 30 days. This guy or this girl meant what they said when they set out to accomplish this thing. They took it seriously. They took themselves seriously. They loved themselves enough to actually put in the work and to act like and make decisions like they love themselves. And all of a sudden, you start to perceive yourself differently. And now we're off to the races because now we're looking at, okay, what's the next step? How do I get even better? Now that I know that I'm the type of person who can do this, what's next? And that is the natural evolution of this stuff. So again, it's more about your identity than it is the result. So it's more about two things, process and identity, than it is the result. Okay, a couple more mistakes that people make. Number one, excuse me, not number one. We already went through two. So number three is you're doing too many things at once. A lot of people try and begin their journey of discipline, of habits, of routines. You know, they'll start 75 hard or something and they'll just go all in on 7 different habits. And for a lot of people, that's not really the greatest way to do it. Habit stacking is going to be usually better for most people. What that means is start with one and do it successfully for 7 days. Give me something simple, right? Drink water when you wake up in the morning. Super simple. Get that done first. And then after you've got a 7-day streak, add on to that. Okay. What you don't want to do, because remember, habits lead to identity. What you don't want to do is give yourself this impossible 7-hour morning routine that isn't going to be useful for you anyway. That's called a crutch. Okay. It's not a routine. That's a crutch. But you don't want to give yourself this impossible morning routine, fail at it a few times in a row, and then reinforce the identity of, see, I knew I wasn't a disciplined person. See, I knew I wasn't capable of doing this. See, I knew I wasn't built for this personal development thing. I'm in the wrong, like that. Now you're spiraling downward instead of upward. So the habits leading to identity thing works down the same way that it works up. Okay. So you've got to be very, very careful with that. So start small. Start small, don't do too many things at once, and habit stack rather than just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Now, my fourth point might seem like a contradiction to that. My fourth point is this: don't be so soft on yourself. Do not be so soft on yourself. If you're really trying to achieve big things with your life, if you're really trying to unleash the person that you know that you have inside you, that you know you were born to be, if you're really trying to unleash the potential that you have, you cannot afford to be easy on yourself. The reason is because everybody else is going to be easy on you. Your significant other is going to be easy on you. Your mom's going to be easy on you. Your family's going to be easy on you. Society, especially in this day and age, is going to say, don't be too hard on yourself. Everything's fine. Be strict with yourself. Get in a community where you're actually held accountable. Start taking your standards personally. Start taking your potential personally. I hate the 4 Agreements is one of the biggest personal development books that's out there. A lot of people love it. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. Don't get me wrong. But don't take things personally. That's one of the main tenets of the book. Don't take things personally. Are you kidding me? Don't take things personally. If I miss the gym, I take that personally. I'm letting myself down. That's me looking at the potential that God gave me and saying, I don't respect it or you enough to hold myself accountable to making sure this happens. I'm so weak that I can't even make myself go to the gym for 10 minutes. And I have the audacity to say that I want a well done, thy good and faithful servant at the end of my life, or that I want to do and accomplish big things with my life. Are you serious? You ought to take that personally. Of course you should take that personally. It's your life we're talking about. How would you not take that personally? Wasting your potential isn't personal. Not living up to who you could be isn't personal. Not making the impact that you could make, not leading by example, that's not personal. That absolutely should be personal. And you should start taking it seriously. You should stop listening to all these average people who try to pacify you and tell you, oh no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. No. Don't be strict. Don't have a high set of standards. Don't expect a lot from yourself. You're just going to make yourself upset. You're just going to make other people uncomfortable because you're going to make them feel judged for their low standards. Good. They could use pushing. They could use some incentive to step up and be who they were created to be. I don't mean to philosophize on you, but my point is this. Don't be so easy understood. This is what everybody does, right? Is, we start a new habit, we start a new routine, we start this new personal development journey or fitness journey or business journey, whatever it is, relationship journey. And, we're strong for 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. And then eventually we go, it's not that important, is it? It's not that big of a deal, is it? Doesn't mean that much, does it? Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Start taking it personally. So how do I reconcile point 3, which was don't do too many things at once, and point 4, be strict and have high standards? Start with one thing at a time. I'm not saying have super high standards on 7 things at a time. I'm saying start with one and enforce those standards, right? I need you to get used to winning. This is what I got to get you to understand. I need you to get accustomed to winning so that you start to expect to win, so that winning becomes your identity, because winning is the habit. And the habit becomes the identity. So if you start getting some wins, if you start building some momentum, all of a sudden you say, oh, this is what I do. This is who I am. I win. I accomplish stuff. I do what I say I'm going to do. Okay? So what you do is you take the smallest little habit that you can possibly do, the smallest habit you can possibly do, and hold yourself accountable to it come hell or high water. Okay? Once we've got that down packed, then we add to it. We habit stack. And we keep the same standards and we enforce it for the 2 habits instead of the 1. And then we simply build and we build and we build. This is why people who are coming out of, addiction treatment centers, they don't say, don't worry about never drinking again, never doing drugs again, never doing anything wrong again for the rest of your life. No, don't do that. That's way too much. That's way too much. Worry about holding yourself accountable to the standard of not doing it today. Can we do that? Can we start there? Maybe we just need to hold ourselves accountable to that standard for the next hour. Maybe we can hold ourselves accountable to that standard for the next 30 minutes. Can we do that? And then once you get that 30 minutes under your belt, now we got to win. And now that's going to empower us for the next 30 minutes. Now we got an hour. That's going to empower us for the next hour. Now we got 2 hours. That's going to empower us for the next 2 hours. Sooner or later, you double every 30 minutes. All of a sudden, now we really got something going. And now we've changed our identity. Now we've changed who we believe ourselves to be. And at the end of the day, who you believe yourself to be is going to be who you will be. I didn't make a whole lot of sense the way that I said it, but I think you understood what I'm trying to say. Hey, listen, if you want help with your habits, check out everydaymeanseveryday.com. We got daily workouts, daily meal plans, daily habit tracking. We got courses on high performance mindsets. We got courses on fitness and nutrition. We got a community. We got daily coaching videos just like this. We got a whole situation. We got energy drinks. We got apparel. We got a whole situation over there. I would love to have you in it. It's like 75 hard, but it's better. I'll be completely honest with you. It's better. It's tech enabled, push notifications. So if you miss a habit, it's not like 75 hard was cool, but it's like a PDF. Like you got to do it by yourself. This is like, I'm on you. Okay. If you miss something, that push notification is going to be like, hey, where are we at? Right. So it's pretty cool, man. I'd love to see you in there. Make sure if this video gave you value that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.